Homeowner. Hi, hobo Nora, sure and bigorra 'tis I. I hope Miss Sally Baker doesn't mind me appropriating her old Hobo Kelly theme song, but it seemed a nice icebreaker for this first installment of the series I call Homeowner2Hobo. Hopefully, I can help other people avoid the pitfalls that got me living in this trailer. Let me see, can you see all of it? It's being pulled by that little hoopty there. Yeah. Well, let's see. Should I start at the biggest problem or the first problem? Well, first, let me introduce you to my co-star. She's the pretty one. She's like, no, I don't want to be on camera. I'm napping. I am a princess. This is Boo Boo. Yay, Boo Boo. Yes, I've had this baby since she fit right in this hand. And her eyes were barely open, and now she's 14 pounds, and I make old lady noises when I pick her up. Don't I? She says, I'm not carrying this crap for you. Well, would you like a tour of the interior of my home? Well, yeah, granted, I have an awful lot of stuff. There's still some room up there for some clothing. I still have a little organizing to do there. Oops, oh, there we go. And then we have our door and our window and all this stuff. Yeah, and now oops, as I trip over everything because I'm a klutz and I can't seem to do anything right. Blinded you all. Sorry about that. And yes, even the bathroom is just a mishigas of a mess. And of course, they gave me a unit. It's very nice in a lot of ways, but it would have been real nice if the refrigerator would have worked and the outlets would have worked so that the freezer that I bought would have worked. And then I would have been able to save all the meat that I had. But unfortunately, none of that happened. I had to throw away a whole bunch of food, and that really ticks me off. Don't like wasting. And when I called Camping World about it, the guy in parts says, well, look at the fuse box. And I did, and there's like 10 spaces for fuses, and only 3 of them were there. So I went and bought a fuse kit, and I replaced all of them, and still the refrigerator's not working. Outlet's still not working. The funny little place where I can plug in this cord and charge my phone works, and the lights work, and the toilet and the sink work. The shower might work, but there's something up with the drain. I'm not going to move things out of the way right now to show you, but it looks a little off kilter on one side, like it's lifted up and that might leak, you know? I told them about that, but right now I just would like to have a flippin' working refrigerator, but oh God. And you're seeing it when I've done most of the cleanup. Every time I have to drag this thing somewhere, all my shit gets tossed like a salad. I thought, oh well, I'll just leave it behind in a campground space, when I have to go do things and just take my car. Ha 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 ha. Apparently, I'm not the only one cosplaying Nomadland for my golden years. There is no such thing as any vacancies in any of those campgrounds. And most of the places that are supposed to be like government-run rest area parking spots closed due to funding and other bullshit. My, doesn't the sunset look pretty? I love how they had to tell us where the exit is. I might have tried to dive out the window otherwise. Maybe crawl through that little thing in the ceiling in the bathroom. Can't even get our air conditioning to work. We have one, just don't know how to get it working. And this was after I used to have a very nice Jeep Renegade that I'd bought from Enterprise Rent a Car. When they sell them, they've only had them for 6 months and they've never been in an accident. It was a really reliable, wonderful car, but it only had about a 2,000 pound towing capacity. This thing's close to 3,000 empty. So I had to get something bigger. And with the little time that I had left and most of the stuff I was seeing I either couldn't afford or it wouldn't tow enough, I was like, hopped on this thing and got one hell of a hoopty, because on the way home from Bakersfield, picking up the trailer through the grapevine, the SUV takes a dump. It overheats. The water pump had, its seal had blown. You tried to pour water in it. It was just leaking out. I actually got left on the side of the road all night because it was Saturday night, Sunday morning, and my insurance through Toggle, their roadside assistants kept saying, "Oh, you're our first priority. We haven't forgotten you. We're going to send someone." All fucking night long. And in the morning, finally got to be like 10 a.m. and I was like, screw this. And I got my own tow, which, Jesus Christ, I was going to just go 4 miles up the road to the nearest service station, but it was Sunday, and the guy goes, "Look, it's closed. There's nothing out here. It's too far away from everything. You won't be able to get Enterprise to come get you or any other rental car. You won't be able to get an Uber. You're going to be stuck. But for $500 extra, I can tow you to the Crown Dodge you were talking about in Ventura." So it cost me like a total of $820 just to get the damn couplet towed. And then I got a $72 ticket because it sat on the street in front of Crown Dodge for more than 3 days. Because I had to manage to take out payday loans and an installment loan just to be able to get a U-Haul and have gas and everything. Oh yeah, SSI, Social Security Administration, they've been screwing me over since 2006. And the worst thing they did to me recently was pause my benefits when they found out, through getting a piece of return mail, that I wasn't at my parents' address anymore, that I'd lost the house, that I had to sell it. Because here's a little tip for you, kiddies. If your parents say they're going to leave the house to you, but it has a reverse mortgage on it, get happy with the fact that you're not going to get to live there. You can sell it immediately and get as much money for it as you can before you start pouring money into bridge loans and other things trying to get to keep it for yourself. Because there's a weird loophole. Reverse mortgage companies are allowed to refuse payment from an heir through a reverse mortgage of their own that would allow them to stay there. They don't want to have to wait for their money. They want you to either sell or to fight it so hard you go into foreclosure. If you sell, they get their money faster. If you go into foreclosure, they make even more money. And of course, I didn't know anything about any of this. Plus, the way that the family trust was written, it said, any sale of the real property or the contents of the house go into the trust account, which is spendable only at the discretion of a trustee and only on the beneficiary's living expenses. So when they called me and they go, "Oh, well, you have money in the bank then?" I went, "No, actually, it's in this trust account, and it says specifically this, and it says it's set up that way to keep it legally separate from my finances so it won't affect my benefits." And they just kept going, "Nope, we count trust too." Pause. I didn't think this was as big of a problem as it was. But on my birthday, when I started looking at houses to get a reverse for purchase, all of the realtors and the finance people were like, "Oh, They paused your benefits? Well, yeah, we can't count that as income for a loan now. And I went, well, you don't need to worry about income with a reverse for purchase. You're putting half of the value of the house up front. You don't even have to make payments on it if you don't want to. Sorry, you still have to show 2 years of income, no gaps, ongoing. So basically, they made it so that I can't get a home loan for at least 2 years. Lovely. And of course, there's the lovely rules. I tried to buy a manufactured home, those prefab cracker boxes in what I call a trailer park. But if you call it a trailer park to the people that manage and run them, they will correct your microaggression. It's a manufactured home park. I had to bite my tongue real hard to not go, really? Because Roger Miller called from heaven and he said, trailers for sale or rent. Come the fuck on. How pretentious do you have to be? And I tried for months to get into one of those damn things. But those parks that they're parked in, see, you have to rent the space. Now, that's not a problem, but low-income rentals and every manufactured home park in the state and probably in the country has this same ignorant rule. You have to make triple the rent to live there. And that includes any utilities that they meter in with your rent. You have to make triple those too. Yeah, and they don't like to count variable income. Like the 2 years I spent working on the Rover app, taking care of people's pets and making $12,000 a year each year. So if you average that out, that's an extra $1,000 a month. Granted, it doesn't come that way. Most of it came during the holidays because I was the only person in town who didn't have friends or family to spend the holidays with, so I had everybody's dogs instead. Hell, on Thanksgiving, I had 2 people's ducks on the porch. I can't imagine what my neighbors thought I was going to do for Thanksgiving. But no, they don't want to count that, and they don't want to count eBay. Anything that isn't a set amount every month, guaranteed. Which, if they really understood SSI, they wouldn't want to count it either. Because if you have SSI and you do other work, you have to report that work to them. And then they take half of what you made doing that work away from your benefits. So you're working full-time hours to barely make part-time income. I imagine I'm scaring the children at this point. I don't blame you. And anyway, tomorrow. Oh, let's see. Did I cover everything? Oh, well, actually, they screwed me over real bad in 2006 when I was certified disabled. They told me, you don't have enough years of work to qualify you for full SSDI. We're putting you on SSI. And I asked, well, what's the deal with that? And they said, well, we only look at the 10 years prior to your application, looking 5 years of work to qualify you. And I was like, well, wait a minute. What about the 13 years prior to that, from 83 to 96, when I was employed almost continuously? Doesn't that make up for one lousy missing year? And they gave me a dirty look and ignored my question. And every time I brought it up to somebody, sadly, it was never an American being employed by the Social Security Administration helping me. It was always somebody who clearly was new in the country and would take one look at a white person like me and they'd go, curl up their lip in disgust right in my face, just for existing. And I'd try to be nice and, smooth things over, but it didn't matter. It meant they saw my white skin. They don't care. And when I asked her about that, she just ignored me. Everybody else I tried to bring it up to brushed it off and ignored me. By the time I finally found an American working there who told me, well, yeah, there was a way to have your case reevaluated based on prior years of work, but now too much time has passed. I'm like, well, you know, the SSA are the people who hired those probably illegal people who withheld that information from me. So the least they could do is drop the time constraint. No. So that's why I've been scraping by. SSI currently is about $1,227 a month for me. When I started, it was like 700 and something. And because of that low-ass income, I never qualify for squat. I have actually inherited and lost 2 houses. My late partner left me the house that she had grown up in, and we spent 23 years in, the only time in my life when I ever felt happy and loved. And I had to get the roof fixed, and I made the mistake of getting what they call a PACE loan. I forget what PACE is an acronym for, but avoid them at all costs. If anything says they're just going to add it to your property tax and you pay it along with the property tax, run. Warning, warning, Will Robinson, do not do. Because once they attach it to your property tax, it is treated like property tax. And at least in California and some other states, it means you cannot discharge it in bankruptcy. So, yeah, I had to sell that. And again, I had fought it for so long, I didn't have really enough to get a decent house anywhere. And I tried resetting my life. I tried renting a place for a couple of years so I could take a mail order course in special effects movie makeup that Tom Savini himself told me back in the 80s that I should take. And it just never dawned on me that a mail order course might say no. So that was a big waste of my time. And now I'm this useless bum out on the flippin' road. And I feel like there's no coming back from this. There's no building back up to a place where I can have a home or anything. Unless maybe if President Trump sees this and takes pity on an American who was shoved out by all the illegal filth that he's been helping get rid of, like the one who raped and tried to kill me when I was 12. It's like, yeah, those people have been ruining my life for a number of years. Hopefully, either someone like Trump or somebody that has enough money will see this and feel sorry for me and go, that's really not fair and I can help. And let me do like a rent to own or even just rent without the stupid triple rule so I have someplace to live indoors like a human being. So I don't own it. Whoop-de-doo. As long as I never have to leave, I don't freaking care. And I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny, though, if this series gets monetized and actually makes enough to buy me a house? Let's up those numbers. All right. I'm going to cut it off there, kids. I want you all to tell me in the comments just how lousy my videography is and everything else and any helpful tips. And let me know if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about. And there's other things I do want to touch on about health and other things with you guys, but I'll save those for other videos. And I ask that God bless each and every one of you with health and happiness for you and yours. And just get in there and keep swinging. That's what I'm doing. Take care, old friends and new.